I mean, it's shocking. In many ways, I'm quite glad for like new media and all of that, because I can imagine how many people in the past have been victim to the kind of stunts that Blake Lively and her husband have pulled, now apparently in conjunction with Taylor Swift, who has oddly decided to distance herself from the couple, which is an interesting development. Look, I went through the 160-page timeline and evidence document that Justin published on his website in detail, as well as what he presented to the court, because it was fascinating.
It was fascinating.
I mean, if even only half of what he's saying is true, Blake Lively is a complete nightmare. This is an actress that was hired to be in the film, and yet she's asking the director, who's also her lead, for the cuts and the edits, and she's decided to take over the wardrobe, and she gets to choose her wardrobe and they pay for it. That's unprecedented. No one's ever heard of that. And then she has the audacity to call her husband and Taylor Swift her dragons, and that Justin Baldoni and the producer tried to sexually harass this woman, this Mad Hatter, who no sane man would go near with a 10-foot barge pole. It is so offensive and so ridiculous. I mean, I urge everyone to just read through everything that Justin Baldoni.
I mean, it is utterly shocking. It's compelling.
Shocking.
I mean, Andy.
In her amended complaint, Blake Lively revealed that 2 actresses from It Ends With Us are backing her claims against Justin Baldoni, reportedly describing him as deeply problematic. While their identities remain private, sources say they may speak out soon. Surprisingly, major outlets like The Hollywood Reporter have yet to cover the story. Meanwhile, Piers Morgan has criticized Hollywood for staying silent as the controversy grows.
It's unprecedented that stars of this magnitude would dish it all out in public to this extent. I mean, she began with, I think, the New York Times, very well orchestrated, obviously, onslaught against him. And I read all that and thought, wow, poor Blake Lively. I've got to say, I'm not really thinking that now. The more I read about this, the more I think stain on all your gruesome houses. The publicists involved, the actors involved, everybody involved seems to be absolutely horrible.
Well, you say we haven't seen it before, but we kind of have with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And
well, that's true, yeah, but that only came out in the end in court, right?
And, I mean, that was Johnny did something that I think a lot of people took notes to. Like,
yeah, that's true.
A receipt. He dropped all the evidence, and I think Team Justin, which, you know, same PR rep who repped Johnny, it was behind this. Blake sort of saw that as, oh, you're trying to use an Amber Heard tactic, but she didn't even realize, like, that's not a good defense. That means you're guilty because Blake, Amber lied. It's been astonishing. Like, I just jumped off my live. We had 30,000 people.
Blake Lively is at the center of an escalating storm surrounding It Ends With Us, both on and off screen. In her amended complaint, Lively dropped a bombshell. 2 unnamed co-stars are allegedly backing her claims against director and co-star Justin Baldoni, citing his problematic on-set behavior. While the actresses haven't gone public yet, sources say they're prepared to speak out. Oddly, The Hollywood Reporter has remained silent, despite the growing controversy. Meanwhile, Piers Morgan took direct aim at Lively during a fiery live TV exchange. Known for his sharp tongue, Morgan's brutal takedown left Lively momentarily speechless, and the clash quickly went viral, igniting a fierce debate among fans and critics. All of this chaos is unfolding as It Ends With Us, based on Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel, approaches release. The story explores heavy themes of love, trauma, and abuse. Lively stars as Lily Bloom, a woman caught in a relationship that spirals into darkness. But critics argue Lively's marketing missed the tone entirely. From launching a hair care line mid-campaign to debuting a themed cocktail dubiously named Riley You Wait, many called it tone-deaf and accused her of trivializing the story's serious themes. Lively has defended her approach, noting she was deeply involved as both star and producer. "There's nothing I didn't touch on this film," she claimed. Baldoni, however, paints a different picture. He alleges Lively overstepped, particularly during a key rooftop scene. He claims she brought in Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift to pressure him into accepting her creative direction. At a meeting in Lively's New York penthouse, Baldoni says Swift unexpectedly appeared, praising Lively's version of the script, a move he calls calculated and coercive.
Need to talk about this picture that Ryan Reynolds posted last night. Yes, right after their very first pre-trial, Ryan posts this selfie of him and Blake on his Instagram stories, basically telling us there's nothing wrong, everything is fine. I find it funny in Blake Lively's complaint, she says she has so much anxiety and pain from this smear campaign that she can't even go outside. which is obviously a lie because she's outside right now and smiling. And what annoys me the most is they've yet to put out an apology for anything. Any of those rude interviews, the blackface, not a single apology, but we know they know how to write apologies because they wrote one for Justin Baldoni. But they seem to be so privileged that they think we are all wrong. Like we are not all reading the same things they are reading. As if we don't have the evidence. We do. Like Baldoni's team took your 84-page complaint and tripled it. But I'm still patiently waiting on the amended filings from Blake Lively's team. They claim to have more evidence, so let's see what they...
If true, Blake Lively's alleged maneuver wasn't just a creative pitch. It was a high-stakes power move that shook the entertainment industry. According to Justin Baldoni, the situation escalated when Lively leveraged her close friendship with Taylor Swift to pressure the production team. He claimed she hinted that Swift's haunting track My Tears Ricochet would only appear in the trailer if Lively's creative demands were met. Baldoni points to a text exchange with a Sony executive, suggesting trailer approval was contingent on her editorial control. If accurate, it paints a picture of Lively strategically using star power to reshape the film to her liking. But it didn't stop there. Baldoni also accused Lively of problematic behavior long before It Ends With Us, pointing to the set of A Simple Favor, where insiders alleged she fostered a toxic environment. Assistant director Barbara Seaman resigned, later stating Lively's alleged actions left her emotionally drained. These claims have resurfaced, adding weight to the current controversy. Making matters worse, a 2016 interview with Lively has gone viral for all the wrong reasons. Described as dismissive and sarcastic, Lively allegedly clashed with a journalist who later called the experience a nightmare. The resurfaced story has reignited criticism just as Lively's public image takes hit after hit. Meanwhile, her legal war with Baldoni is reaching a boiling point. Lively's legal team recently requested an extension to submit new evidence, but the judge denied it, insisting the case stay on schedule. Undeterred, Lively doubled down, claiming multiple women on set had serious concerns about Baldoni. But her credibility took a hit when insiders said Lively named actresses Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferrer as her supporters, claims those close to the production deny. Initially unnamed, the actresses' identities were publicly linked to the case the next day, sparking backlash. Lively's team insists they gave permission, but critics argue they were dragged into the mess to deflect from Lively's own conduct and possibly Ryan Reynolds' alleged behind-the-scenes influence. Lively says she's standing up for others, but many accuse her of recklessness, using unverified claims to shift blame. What started as a film about emotional trauma has spiraled into a real-life legal and PR disaster, driven by celebrity power plays, conflicting narratives, and mounting skepticism. With the court demanding progress and no signs of resolution, this Hollywood saga is far from over.
Blake No Teeth Lively has experienced yet another court loss. So she wanted to amend her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, right? The judge said, okay, cool, you have until Valentine's Day, February 14th. And now Blake Lively was like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, we're not ready to present yet. And she was asking for an extension until March 5th. And then the judge said, okay, why? And she's like, duh, because I'm Khaleesi and I said so. And then the judge was like, LOL, yeah, no, I'll give you until Monday. I'll give you a couple extra days. You have until Monday, but you don't have until March 5th. And so now she has until this upcoming Monday, which is February 17th, to figure out what she's going to amend in her complaint. And initially there were rumors that the amendment was going to come with some sort of statement from Jenny Slate, who played Justin Baldoni's sister in It Ends With Us. And so people were assuming that maybe Jenny was going to be some sort of star witness, that this was going to be the smoking gun. Maybe she had something that she witnessed that she was going to bring to the table, right? Well, then all the internet sleuths went and dug up an old interview that she did on the Anna Faris podcast where she basically pokes fun at hitting her ex-boyfriend, which doesn't really make her a strong star witness after all, which may possibly be why Blake's team is now asking for this extension, because what they were planning on bringing to the table.
With the legal circus surrounding It Ends With Us escalating daily, one thing is clear: this battle is far from over. A fresh wave of controversy has insiders claiming that studio executives are in full-blown panic mode, worried that the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni feud could derail the film's release entirely. Behind closed doors, heated talks are underway about whether to delay, rebrand, or even shelve the project indefinitely. Executives fear that the mounting allegations, Baldoni's public pushback, and backlash over the film's tone-deaf marketing could overshadow the emotional story at its core. Adding to the chaos, whispers of a divided production team are surfacing. Some accuse Lively of weaponizing her producer role to force her creative vision, while others believe Baldoni is being unfairly targeted without solid evidence. Even more explosive, rumors suggest Hollywood power players like Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift may be quietly pulling strings behind the scenes. With trust crumbling and tensions boiling over, the future of It Ends With Us hangs by a thread.
Ruled on the Wayfarer Party's request to squash subpoenas, and they got a big win, not a unilateral win, because the goddess of gaslighting did score a narrow victory as well. I've got the judge's ruling, and let's go over it together. All right, Judge Lyman writes, Wayfarer Studios, LLC, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, It Ends With Us Movie, LLC, Melissa Nathan, The Agency Group, and Jennifer Abel moved to squash subpoenas issued to cellular providers AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile by Blake Lively. For the reasons that follow, the motion is granted in part and denied in part. Lively served the subpoenas on or around February 12th. The subpoenas requested all documents concerning ingoing and outgoing calls or text messages related to telephone numbers belonging to certain Wayfarer parties and related individuals.
The legal firestorm surrounding It Ends With Us has just erupted again, and this time, the stakes are sky high. As the feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni spirals out of control, new insider leaks are shaking Hollywood. A source close to both stars claims the drama wasn't just creative tension. It was a calculated power struggle filled with manipulation, backdoor deals, and strategic moves. Even more shocking, this source reportedly has receipts, emails, texts, and even recordings that could either vindicate or destroy both Lively and Baldoni. Studio execs are said to be scrambling, considering legal threats and hush-hush settlements to prevent these bombshells from surfacing. But the biggest twist? Betrayal may be coming from inside Lively's own camp. Insiders claim someone close to her has been leaking damaging details about her behavior, legal strategy, and efforts to control the film. Furious, Lively is reportedly purging her inner circle, cutting ties, and demanding loyalty. Meanwhile, the studio is caught in the crossfire, holding emergency meetings. One Sony exec has allegedly floated the idea of cutting certain cast or crew to protect the film, and Lively is said to be livid, even considering legal action to stop her role from being diminished. On the other side, Baldoni's camp remains silent, leading to speculation that he's negotiating a quiet exit deal. Crew members are divided. Some say Lively abused her producer power. Others argue Baldoni is being unfairly smeared. Then Baldoni broke his silence with a blistering statement, accusing Lively's team of running a media campaign to paint him as the villain and